どうしたヤマト。
僕は
登録する。
いや、それは海賊王が言った言葉だ。
Car D Kaizoku.
This video is brought to you by Adakai TCG. Shop the latest in premium holographic textured custom One Piece cards. Designed for collectors, crafted to stand out. Use code CARDKaizoku for 15% off your next order. This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. See Western OP11 list and Eastern OP12 list on gumgum.gg. Updated daily. Be the first to see decks for new leaders as they emerge. With over 1,000 deck lists per set, gumgum.gg has all the top strategies as soon as they drop. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. We're going to be taking a look at week 4 of OP11 sim data here. This is for the last week of the Western format and only private games. So this does contain ranked matches in addition to whatever other private matches people have been playing. But I would have to assume a majority of them are ranked, especially for the most played leaders, right? The fringe leaders, yeah, I guess some people could be like testing it with their friends, but like these ones for sure is a pretty good representation of the top 10 here. So we'll just go over them and take a look at what week 4 has for us. We skipped week 3 just because last week it didn't really change too much, but we do see some significant changes here, so I'd like to go over them with you guys. So up back at number 1 is Blue Purple Luffy, reclaiming his spot as the number 1 deck of the format. I do have to think that it's because of his recent performance in Asia, which reminded people in the West that like, oh yeah, Blue Purple Luffy is still a really good deck. It's still the top deck, right? So back up on first tier, and then Buggy going up 2 spots since last week, going up to second. His play rate jumped up quite a bit, right? He has a 6.71% play rate in all sim games, Western private games, followed by Bonnie, who went down 2 spots. Bonnie was the number 1 deck the last time we took a look at this list. And then Bella Betty also went down 1 spot at 4th. Green Purple Luffy staying at 5th here. Zoro staying at 6th here. Now Shanks went up 2 spots. We were slowly seeing him creep up. We'll take a look at what lists that Shanks are running these days that's making him perform a little better on the sim. Purple Luffy went down 1 spot. Red Green Smoker down 1 spot. And then Blackbeard rounds off our top 10, managing to cap off the top 10. I think he's been solidly like 10th for a few weeks now. And we'll even extend it a bit. Let's take a look at the top 20 while we're at it. So Yamato up 2 spots, Lucci staying at 12th, Purple Black Luffy down 2 spots, Reiju up 4, and Piss Kid up 6. Okay, we'll take a look at their deck list, see what made them go up in ranking here. Green Yellow Law down 2, Nami down 2, Enel down 1, Kobe down 3 to 19th, and then Marco down to 20th, and that rounds up our top 20 here. So let's take a look at play rate while we're here. So by play rate, Blue Purple Luffy is the most played deck, followed by Green Purple Luffy, followed by Bella Betty, Blackbeard, Buggy, Yamato, Smoker, Bonnie, and then Purple Black Luffy. So these are the most popular decks. Let's take a look at some of these deck lists. So take a look at ones that went up since the last week. Now this is last week as in the day of I'm recording this, which is Sunday, July 20th. So it checked last Sunday. So it really depends on the day that I check these stats too, which is FYI in case you want to know the particulates. Okay, so I have a Blue Purple Luffy here. Let's just see what Blue Purple Luffys are more running these days. Oh, but first let's take a look at his win rate. So yeah, does better going first versus going second. And it looks like his ramp is the most important things to keep in your starting hand, right? The Gear Seconds, the Mr. 2s, the Zorojuros. Still dies to Aggression, it looks like, Bella Betty and Green Yellow Law. And then Buggy too. Buggy is good against Blue Purple Luffy. But yeah, it has a good matchup into pretty much everything else. So let's take a look at deck lists. So I kind of changed how the deck lists show up now. I used to have like 3 decks for top overall, most piloted, and most played, but I decided to just keep the most piloted, most played, and then like the best overall, taking into account pilot versus play rate. Now I also have a new one, Hidden Gem. This is where I don't care about how many people play the deck. I just take a look at how many games it's played and then its win rate, and that's what I consider like a hidden gem. Like if one guy is playing a really interesting list that really wins a lot, that's where this would show up. But it looks like for this particular leader, the best overall deck is the Hidden Gem, and it's not so hidden because 42 people have played it in the past week. It looks like a standard Blue Purple Luffy list where it has all the cards you expect, right? You have Katakuri, you have 9 Mom, oh, but only 3 of each. In the place of that, you have some tech cards. You have the Secret Luffy, Snake Man Luffy, you have the Mihawk, and then you have the 9-cost Rush Luffy, right? This is more of a toolbox deck. I guess it makes it a lot more well-rounded into a bunch of other matchups because you also have like the blocker Doflamingos too. and then only one red rock and one gravity blade. So yeah, very, very toolboxy. Like it's a bunch of one-off copies of things that you would need in certain situations. I wouldn't be surprised if this was Jackson's deck, if he's playing Blue Purple Luffy, because I know he likes to play decks this way. And to be honest, it makes the most sense for this particular leader just because you can rearrange the top cards of your deck so often, right? So it's the perfect kind of package for this kind of leader, I feel. Interestingly, the most piloted deck with 55 pilots is the Don Quixote package, right, with the 8-cost Doflamingo into the Rosinantes. I guess you could do Sanji into Doflamingo into Rosinante. That's pretty cool. And then you always have 2 Don up for your counter events, which would be like your Gear Seconds, your Gungam Giants, your Noro Noro, Soul Slow Beam Sword. So that's interesting too. The most played deck, this is like the bog standard. Blue Purple Luffy list is probably like the list I'd run too, right? 4 Katakuri, 4 Big Mom, and then yeah, 2 Grab Blades, 2 Red Rocks. We can take a look in the deck builder too in case you want to see how much the deck costs. So this one's $318, holy moly. But yeah, it's just a bunch of good cards in blue and purple, so it makes sense why it's so expensive. It's mainly just the Mr. 2s and the Sanjis, just as always. This has not changed, so we'll not linger too much on this. But yeah, all these links and stuff available through my website and my deck builder. This is my deck builder and my website, by the way. I didn't mention that in the beginning of the video. But yeah, if you wanted to buy these cards, the shopping cart links takes you to the cheapest version of each card. Master entry button copies the whole deck to your clipboard. You can paste it into the master entry form. Probably tired of me saying this if you watch every one of my videos, but yeah, it's there. It goes through my affiliate link if you want to support me passively. There's a great way to do it. I try to say that as quick as I can, so let's move on to the next leader. Buggy, right? So Buggy went up a couple spots, got higher in play rate, 6.7% here. Has a going first a win rate of 57%, going second win rate of 47. So you do want to go first. It looks like it does matter the most with this leader, right? Just being able to play your leader ability on the turn that you're on your 5 Don ASAP is what makes the difference here. Good into decks like Lucci. Lucci just cannot function at all. His game plan does not work against you. Get into Bella Betty and Zoro just because you have the Shoe Buggy that cancels out their deck, but then dies to Kobe and Green Yellow Law and Green Purple Luffy and Bonnie, and kind of dies to Luffy if you happen to go second. Because both of these decks have a really good going first curve, so it's whoever can get it. Let's take a look at the deck list then. Alright, so the top overall deck is interesting. It's changed since the last time I revisited Buggy. So let's take a look at this, and we'll take a look at the hidden gem too. That one looks interesting. So the top overall deck, people are running 2 Pudding, and then they're running the 7 Doflamingo, just to bounce a 7 drop. This bounces a lot of useful targets, right? Sanji and Pudding hidden behind a Going Merry. It gets dealt with by this. Your opponent's Ben Beckman, your opponent's Sanji, their, what's his name? The Rum Luffy gets sent back to hand with this card too. A non-counter card sent back to hand. So that's really good. So I completely understand why this Doflamingo's run, even though it can't be cheated up by your leader ability, right? Because he's not cross-skilled. Let me double check. Nope, he's not. But it is still a body that counts for the 10 cost Buggy's effect. What else is interesting? 2 Grab Blades for tech. And then, oh, a Sables. No Sables Ingles? Wait, that joke didn't work. But yeah, this also bounces a 7 drop back to hand. Well, also has a trigger too. So it's just a 4th effect of this Doflamingo in case you don't want to commit all 7 Don. So yeah, it looks like people are taking in a little bit more removal into this deck. Now, what did they take out? So the Kabajis and Mojis are still here. The 4-cost Buggy is still here. Oh, the 7 Croc is out, right? This one here. Yeah, this makes sense. This guy didn't really do much. It was like the best card in the deck, but up until the starter deck, when that released, it just gave the deck way more better options. I did also feel like if I ever had this Croc, I never played this Croc out, and this guy just kind of gets stuck in my hand. So yeah, this just becomes the Doflamingo now. For tech, that makes complete sense to me. I like it. How much is this deck? $51. Okay, pretty cheap for a really popular and high-performing deck here. Right? If you're not wanting to play Blue Purple Luffy, Buggy might be the deck for you. Let's take a look at the hidden gem because I saw something interesting there. Yeah, it runs 4 Houndblaze and 4 Pilaf. I wonder why Houndblaze. It bottom decks a 2 cost, and I guess I don't know. Like I can only think of Rosinante being like an annoying 2 cost. I guess Shirahoshi can be dealt with. But yellow's not too great right now. Yeah, I must be missing something. You can bottom deck a Tonoyasu in Yamato. You can bottom deck some of these cards in Bella Betty. What else? No, that's about it. I guess Chopper against Green Purple Luffy. Yeah, that's actually pretty good, right? You get rid of their blocker and then you plus 3k to one of your bodies. Okay, that's one good target. Vasco Shot and Doc Q in the Blackbeard matchup. Did Buggy even struggle into Blackbeard? Nah, he beats Blackbeard. So yeah, Green Purple Luffy, I understand that matchup. It's for that. Oh, it's good into the Bedge too in Green Yellow Law. Right. And Ripper and Kobe. So I guess that's why it has a pretty high win rate. It techs heavily against some of these decks that Buggy traditionally struggles against, right? Rosinante here, Chopper here, Bedge here, and then Ripper. Okay, yeah, it makes complete sense now that I look at it with that context in mind. Okay, let's take a look at the next leader here. It's Shanks. So Shanks went up 2 more spots, right? Yeah. Okay, so going first, win rate of 50.7, second of 53. So you want to go second if you can. Good matchup into Purple Luffy, Yamato, Marco, Green Yellow Law, Nami, Bonnie, and Purple Black Luffy. Dice the Purple Blue Luffy, which is why I guess Shanks isn't as popular these days, just because like we saw this is the most played leader, and then if you're the deck that loses to the most played leader, like very handedly too, 36% win rate, it makes it hard to exist as a Shanks in this current meta, right? If there was more counter to Blue Purple Luffy, where like people are less confident in taking this to a tournament, yeah, maybe Shanks might see more play just because he doesn't auto lose from RNG matchup or matchup RNG. I don't know why I said it the other way around. It loses to Buggy too. Looks like Lucky Roo is like the key card. Lucky Roo into Ben Beckman curve. So you'd want to go first, right? 5, 7, or I guess 4, 6, and 8 still works for this Ben Beckman. If going second really is the better curve for him. And yeah, you get to play Rayleigh and then the 10 cost Shanks. Even the 9 cost Shanks from the starter deck is being used a lot more, I think. Let's take a look at some deck lists. Okay, the best overall deck looks like it's returning back to like standard Shanks. So we'll take a look at this one. We'll take a look at the hidden gem too. Okay, top overall decks, $37. This is really cheap. Shanks got insanely affordable. Oh, because this deck doesn't run Rayleigh. Interesting. Okay, so 4 Otamas and then 2 of the Shuffler Yasop. I wonder what this is for. Just to set up this Yasop, right? Because this Yasop with the Dawn makes it so that you can KO a 6k with the Ben Beckman. But yeah, we don't see the new gates. We don't see the Marcos. We don't see the Raise Maxes or what's Building Snake, right? In favor of, like, this is what Shanks originally ran, right? The Silver's Rayleigh to draw him cards. Then Lucky Roo's back in the deck. For a while it was cut, but yeah, I think it's too good not to include. And then we do see the new starter deck inclusions with the Uta. It's a 2k counter that can be cheated out for 2 when you have a big character on board. And then this Shanks has kind of like solidified his place in the Shanks deck. It's a 9 cost 10k, and then if your opponent has a big character out of their own, he costs 6. But other than that, like even if you play him on 9 or 10, it makes your leader a 7k base, plus your leader ability makes it like 8k for 1 attack. So that's really strong. The late game is still 3 of the Rush Shanks and then 2 of the KO Shanks. We usually see this as a 1-up, but it's going up to 2. And then it looks like it runs a lot more counter events, right? You have the Divine Departures, but also 10-layer Igloo, 3 of them. So in the late game, you just want to get 1 Shanks out and then I guess defend from there. I think that's usually how these big decks play. And if you're safe enough to get 2, then you usually win the game. But yeah, defend with 1 Shanks kind of playstyle seems to do really well. Let's take a look at the hidden gem because it was pretty interesting. So no, it's pretty much the same thing, but it runs to Sanji for more aggression. And then Uta Searcher. Did the other one run the Searcher? Oh yeah, it did. Okay, yeah, people cut this out for a while, but then I think with the inclusion of this 9 cost Shanks, you have more targets that you can hit with it. What makes this one stand out? It runs the Event Searcher too. A lot of search. So it kind of forgoes early game for a more consistent mid to late game. But the core of it is pretty much similar to the other Shanks list though. So yeah, this just runs 2 less 2k counters. This one runs 14. Kind of super defensive here. So that's Shanks. Let's take a look at Yamato, who also went up. So Yamato, first win rate 50, second win rate of 47.8. So you want to go first if you can. Good into Kobe, Blackbeard, Marco, Betty, and then Lucci when you're going first. Loses to Reiju. That's a really interesting matchup there. Purple Black Luffy 2, Shanks and Bonnie. Goes 50-50 with Blue Purple Luffy though, so that's a pretty good thing to have, right? And then against these other less popular decks, yeah, you have a weaker matchup, but then you're less likely to face them. So let's take a look at the starting hand analysis. So the Searcher, the Izo. So yeah, what I see these days is people go more for like the double attack banish kind of angle with this Yamato, with the Ashura Doji to punish them if they defend themselves. So we'll see if the deck list will reflect that. It should, right? So best overall deck. Actually, all 4 of these are the same. So not too much variation in Yamato decks. This seems to be like the best one in all aspects. So we'll just open it up in our deck builder. The price of this deck is 94. Okay, not bad. So yeah, we see the Tonoyasu to buff your leader for an extra 1k power. And you can even like, it's like you're storing up power, right? You pay 2 down on your first turn. On your second turn, you have 4 down to use plus 3k from this Tonoyasu that you invested in a turn prior. And then yeah, 4 Onami and 4 Izo, right? So you're relying on that double attack banish from these characters. And the Ashura Doji, as you mentioned, to punish them if they defend themselves. 3 Omegas because sometimes you just need to survive one more turn to kill your opponent. For mid game, you have 6 of the Rush Odin and 3 of the Heal Odin, and then only Kinemon as the trigger, but it's a 2k counter, so you run it anyway. Interestingly, 2 Straw Swords that just rest any costed character, so this gets around like the ACOS Katakuris and stuff. And you always have access to this 2 Dawn too, because you can get it with your leader ability, the rested Dawn. And then of course 4 Hoodie. So this looks like a deck that kind of just wants to rush down your opponent and kill them ASAP. That seems to be the best way to play Yamato at the moment, even with the new support package. Potentially trying to give her a new identity, but it's still the same identity as before. Yeah, that's Yamato. Since there's no hidden gem, that's all we have to see there. 14 2k counters though, so super defensive. Okay, Reiju went up a few spots too. So Reiju has a first win rate of 52, second win rate of 51. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think the reason her weighted win rate is just so low is because of her play rate, right? 1.71% play rate. Not too many people are playing her, but people who are playing her are putting in some good results. So if we see play rate go up, we should see the weighted win rate also be more confident in this score. So just good into Purple Black, good into Kobe, good into Marco, good into Yamato, good into Zoro. Weak into Teach, weak into Blue Purple Luffy, weak into Nami, and then a lot of like very turbulent matchups, right? Depending on if you're going first or second, it flips Green Bonnie, Green Purple Luffy, Green Yellow Law, and Buggy on its head. Even Purple Luffy too, and Bella Betty and Shanks. Wow. Oh, even Lucci, if you go second, you completely demolish him. So only really like 3 like doomed matchups here from these most popular played leaders here. And it makes sense. Teach locks out a lot of Reiju's deck, right? A lot of her on plays just don't work. Blue Purple Luffy, I wonder why. Just you can't kill him before he can scale infinitely. But we'll take a look at some deck lists. Ooh, we got a super hidden gem here. Oh, 1 pilot, 94 game, 58% win rate deck. So we'll take a look at the best overall and then the hidden gem. So best overall costs $35. Cheap! My kind of deck. Okay, so it runs the same package as it's always ran, except it has some new OP12 cards, namely this Reiju 2k counter, which is a great addition to the deck. It lets you search and then also discard cards, right? You can fill your discard pretty easily for this 8 cost Teach to give you really good value. So this becomes more of a late game option now more than ever. Runs a 1 of the 2k Niji just to cheat out with this 1 copy of Niji. So I'm guessing like with the fact that you're able to discard so much with the 2k Reiju and then the stage, you're able to get this Niji into Niji out via your judge. It's a 2k counter anyway, so you'd want to run it. 1 of the blue Ichiji too, just as a blocker option. Now when you bring it back with judge, you can only pick 1, right? But this one just gives you 1k counter. This 7 cost Ichiji from OP06 is far and above the best card in the deck though. Runs 2 Black Bug as tech, just to bottom deck a 5 cost. I wish it did original cost of 5 so I could deal with Sanji and Pudding and stuff like that, but can't complain, right? But yeah, so runs the Porsche engine into the Chopper to help you recover some Dawn. Black Maria to help you get all your Dawn back. So yeah, everything else has been a traditional Reiju deck as we've seen in the past. Let's see what the hidden gem looks like. Okay, very similar, some interesting tech options though. So Reiju is the only new card they run from OP12. They cut out the Niji, right? It's just a 1 of, I don't think it matters. Cosette is run in this deck just because it's a 1 cost blocker for this deck. And with a lot of the popular decks being ramp decks, you'll always have Cosette as a 1 cost blocker, so that makes sense too. In terms of tech, we have 2 Gamma Knife to kill 8 cost kid decks. Then we have 2 Gungam Lightning instead of the Black Bug. Is bottom decking a 5 cost worse than KOing a 6k power? I have to like really think about which scenarios that Reiju... I guess I just have to play Reiju to know what matchups this is more useful in, I guess. And only 3 stage. Okay, but this deck list seems to be doing well for this one person playing it. Might be worth it to try. And then we'll move on to the last leader. It is Kid, Yellow Kid. Going first win rate of 52, going second win rate of 53. So yeah, again, another deck that just has a really solid win rate, but just hurt by his play rate, 1.53%, even less than the Reiju. It has a raw win rate of 53, so something to look into here maybe. We did see some yellow kids do really well in the East too. So let's take a look at his matchup spread. So Kobe beats Nami, beats Yamato, beats Reiju, loses to Blackbeard, Bonnie, and Lucci. So Lucci removal is too much for him to handle. Can potentially win against Blue Purple Luffy if you go first, and then loses to Shanks and Buggy. Has a lot of good matchups actually, but just the fact that he loses to the most popular leaders, being Blue Purple Luffy and Teach, and then the Green Purple Luffy, if you go first, you have a losing matchup there. It makes it a little risky to play him. Let's take a look at the deck list. Okay, so best overall and then hidden gem. So the best overall deck is $86. Oh, they run Katakuri now. I think this is new. People didn't used to run them in this deck. And then 2 Blaze Slice to go for game, I guess. or it helps you like stall too. You can stop one attack and then rest a 4-drop to stop like a second attack potentially. But yeah, everything else looks the same to me. This law, I don't even know if this is like available for us to use in the deck yet, but yeah, it's there as an option. Let's take a look at the hidden gem deck. This one's also running the Katakuri, but one less. Still running the Kikunojo. Runs 2 of the Hiyori to set up some triggers too. Runs 4 of the Red Hawk in place of the Blaze Slice. Also runs Satori as a counter body, and then 4 Apus. But yeah, they're pretty much almost the same deck list, just a couple cards different. Alright, I guess that's it, right? That's every leader we wanted to look at that went up since last time. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the top 10 here. I'm currently doing OP12 content, but I'm still covering the meta in terms of leader rankings for OP11, so we're in that weird transitionary period. But yeah, if you're still in OP11, you can check out my channel for a bunch of other OP11 deck breakdowns. But if you're excited for OP12, I'm starting to do OP12 deck breakdowns too, so check those out. And then subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. If you're a new viewer, I do a bunch of different kinds of videos, not just leader rankings, so check out my channel. And I guess I'll catch you guys next week, maybe. If the meta doesn't change too much, I'll skip a week, but if things like shift, yeah, you'll be sure to see this. And then video uploads this week might be sparse. I'm in the process of moving. I'm actually packing. I took a break to record this video because I got tired of packing. But yeah, in case you don't see your usually scheduled videos this week, that is why. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.
Card Kaizoku.